Okay, so this is a very simple trick that depends on the setup for the apparatus room, but in this case, if it starts on the width of the wall and not the length, then I can just crouch it on crouch like that, and I teleport to the main entrance. The extension ladder can be used for clipping through the ceiling or the wall. Very rarely you can find a way to make it push you through the floor, but it's normally just best for a fast way to exit out of the map. In this case, I use the extension ladder to push myself through the wall, and I land in another room where I die, unfortunately. But it's not really easy to place them on places that are not on the floor, because that's normally where you can glitch yourself outside of the map, is by placing the extension ladder on something that isn't on the same level as you. So in this case, I'm trying to get it on this pipe, because I'm trying to get through the ceiling here, and I'm struggling a lot, because it's a very difficult thing to do, since I'm stupid. But here I finally did it, and it looks like I'm not doing much here. But what I'm actually trying to do is I'm trying to get on top of that pipe at the end of the ceiling, and there we go. So before I get into depth with all of this, I want to mention that first things first, the ceiling is something that will block you when you're inside, but it's not solid from the outside. So when you're trying to get out of bounds and you want to get on top of something, the ceiling is not an option. You need a different thing to stand on. Second is that there is a case scenario where when you glitch through something, you are sent to another floor, or if you push through a wall, you land in a different room, and that's because rooms can be next to each other, and so if you clip through the wall, it might send you into a place where you're soft locked, or where you're just in an area you probably shouldn't be in. In that case, you can end up being in a place where there's locked doors and you can't get out. The key to getting through the ceiling with the extension ladder is to just climb up it at a correct angle where there's a small gap between you and the ceiling. If you're too close to the ceiling blocks you from getting off the ladder, and if it's too far down, you can't climb the ladder, or the gap is just too wide, you don't have any progress. What I need to talk about here is that in some cases, you can just clip through a wall and have the whole map available to you. And when that happens, it's quite a fun time. It could even be a speedrunning trick dependent upon how the map gets around. So in this case, I'm going to a room that wasn't really accessible from like anywhere around me. But because I clipped through the ceiling here, I'm just looking around trying to figure out what I can do here. And if I was really cheeky, I could just try to go around the edge of that wall, grab an item, and then jump off without even having to stay inside the building, and just bringing something to the main entrance that was like on the other end technically. Quite a simple trick. Is it easy to pull off, and do you get this option most of the time? Not really. In this case, I jumped inside though because I didn't see any way to hang around the wall. So I just, went in, and I later realized I'm at the other end of the map and I screwed myself over. A thing to keep out for is pipes, and specifically pipes that are really close to the ceiling. If it's possible to get a ladder to connect with those pipes and have enough room for you to clip through, you can stand on those pipes and also just jump once to get out of bounds. Without any of those pipes right there, I technically wouldn't get anywhere, and the game would keep forcing me back in the map. But because of those two pipes, I eventually make it outside. It's unfortunate here that there's this wall right in front of me, though, from a different room, because that is blocking me a bit, and it makes it a bit harder to get around. But I have 3 items on me. I'd really love to just drop these off at the main entrance, and let's see if I can get away with that. This strat is also useful for moving enemies away from places that you want to go to. So in this case, it takes me a while, but I lead the coil head to a room that I'm not going to go to anymore, and it's also far away from most of the map, so I can just explore without dealing with this coil head, and that's about it.
Sleep for the duration of your contract.